After crossing the heavens, the earth, and seed-bearing plants off his to-do list, God created Penn State tight end Theo Johnson right before calling it quits for week 1 on the job. Blasphemy, you say? Yeah, probably. But from a physical and athletic standpoint, it's impossible to imagine a more perfect prospect than Johnson. Huge, thick, 6'6" frame, big hands, Stretch Armstrong length, unfair speed for a guy weighing 259 pounds, muscles that somehow have muscles, supreme bend to win leverage battles as an inline tight end despite his height, springy feet that turn overthrows into outstanding catches. Yeah, the dude's just a freak. But hey, don't just take our word for it. At the NFL Combine, Johnson went full Bo Derek and posted a perfect 10 height and weight adjusted relative athletic score, the highest composite of any tight end in the history of the event. Which makes you wonder, where the hell was the buzz for Theo during the excessive pre-draft lead-up process? Well, during a satisfactory but far from stellar college career that saw him leave Happy Valley toting 77 receptions for 938 yards and 12 touchdowns, Johnson was the victim of 2 uncommon circumstances that will likely subtract a digit off his NFL rookie contract, but leaves the door open for the possibility that Theo's best football might still be ahead of him. Number 1. Crowded tight end room. In 4 years at Penn State, Johnson split reps with Steelers second-round pick Pat Freiermuth, Jacksonville second-round pick Brenton Strange, and Tyler Warren, a projected Day 2 selection in the 2025 NFL Draft. Because of that talent surplus, Johnson was never the focal point of his own position group, let alone the entire offense. Number 2. Geography. Johnson is Canadian, and unlike fellow NFL countrymen Josh Palmer, Jesse Luketa, and Sidney Brown, who all shimmied south to the States as teenagers, Johnson stayed home and played Canadian, not American football in high school. Ask any degenerate gambler and they'll tell you, these are 2 vastly different games. For instance, there's no tight end position in Canadian football, which means concepts like lining up with his hand in the dirt and blocking were totally foreign to Johnson. Also, because of the much wider field dimensions in Canadian football, Johnson entered Penn State as an unrefined route runner, incapable of creating separation in small spaces, despite his explosive athletic profile. To his credit, Johnson has made strides in both these areas, although he remains a work in progress. As a junior and senior, Johnson displayed a previously unseen physicality and technical acumen in the trenches and at the apex of routes when matched against smaller safeties and corners. In 2022, Johnson's average depth of target was 13.1 yards, tops amongst FBS tight ends, as his slow build-up to his deceptively fast top-end speed on vertical routes caught several third-level defenders flat-footed and off guard. That season, 85% of Johnson's receptions resulted in a first down, while Penn State's QBs finished with a perfect passer rating on balls tossed in Theo's direction. Johnson hauled in an eye-popping 67% of contested catches, flashing the supreme body control needed to contort his massive frame and box out sticky defenders better than most NBA power forwards. And while his ho-hum career average of 5.0 yards after reception won't knock your socks off, on tape, Johnson pieced together a few superhero reps that hint he could develop into a serious post-catch problem on Sundays. Tying this all back to the ridiculous, borderline insensitive intro to this video, Johnson possesses every God-given attribute you'd ever want in a tight end. A toolbox of wow that places Theo's potential ceiling as a pro much higher than his projected mid-round draft slot. To reach it, though, Johnson will have to sandpaper smooth several of the still rough technical elements in his game, making this less of an immediate impact selection and more of a long-term lottery ticket that could cash in handsomely 2 or 3 years from now.